been shooty on that Ziggs. Smolder's also been something, particularly in the mid lane, not really bot showing up. That's going to be locked in immediately. And the question really is going to be, what is FAKER going to play on this? So obviously going to share the Ziggs, and they also get that Sejuani. So with a lot of junglers banned out, wanted to lock that one in for Owner.
The Ivern is still available here for Peanut. He has looked like one of our best junglers on the pick. Also, most likely the Smolder is going to go mid. There is, of course, some flex potential. I feel like Smolder in the solo lanes does feel a lot stronger right now. But given the fact that Doran has pulled out Akshan at some point, I feel like he'll be down for anything. And the Ivern shouldn't come as a surprise, although that's a very different look. But something that Peanut has run games on throughout the last couple of years.
Yeah, technically could be a flex if they want to put a support. We've seen a bit of that, but not too much of it recently. But definitely a pick that Peanut's confident in. Often we see him leaning heavily into the side lanes on the back of this pick. So ensuring you have a decent matchup is important. Now, I don't really like the Ashe here. I think the Jhin is a much better pick. Ashe, you know, you're never going to get into auto range against the Ziggs, and it's so easy to explode him. Ziggs, you can unload with your ult from a distance. And, I mean, if Ziggs does throw an ult onto you when you're ulting, the follow-up probably isn't there in the first place.
FAKER has not picked his pick just yet. They take the Tristana, Azir, and Corki away. Also could be flexed, but definitely feels like something FAKER would play as some hovers coming in from Guma. We already have the Ziggs, and we're just thinking about what is FAKER going to play, as they should be saving counter pick for Zeus in the top lane. And
so
maybe it's just...
Yeah, I imagine it's the APA special, right?
Yeah.
Captain America showing his face here with the Ziggs coming through, most likely the mid lane, unless it's mid CAITLYN, which, given that you have Guma on your team, I hope not.
Probably not, you know.
Playing the Smolder, you know.
Hey, we're in an AD carry mid lane meta. I gotta mention it at least.
But to me, this just screams tower taking potential. You know, you have a CAITLYN lane in the bot lane. It's obviously not a hugely favorable matchup, but if you get an advantage there, if you lay a CC onto the Bard, get some kill leads, start taking plates in the bot lane, move the Ziggs over and secure. So clear plan coming out from T1 here. The Bard for Delight, they're pretty cool. Not something we typically see from him in terms of his wheelhouse. Not a big ranged support player. And then it will be that Jax for Doran being locked in. So Zeus is counter pick in this situation.
Would be some poetic justice if Zeus ends up bringing out the Gragas. Definitely AP Gragas, one of the matchups that can really bully the Jax. I do like the Jax. I think both Doran had a really good game on it, but also it plays well into a lot of the bullies that normally Zeus likes to go into. And this is a pick that he has obviously been historically great on. It's a pick that he debuted on and looked incredible on. But that's not really what I think you were looking for with an R5 counter pick. Because this still feels like a skill matchup that can go either way depending on jungle intervention.
Yeah, it kind of feels to me that T1, with the flex of the Ziggs and the CAITLYN coming in, want to direct a lot of attention towards the bot lane, and they're fine with Zeus just having a matchup he feels confident in. Obviously, the Gnar can take priority pretty comfortably in this matchup, but not really something that we expect to crush the Jax. It'd be interesting to see as well, though.
I think swap. By the way, Guma's playing Ziggs.
So they are swapping it now and put the CAITLYN in the mid lane. I mean, you outrange the Smolder.
Let's hop into the rip for game number 1 of the lower finals. Alrighty, here we go. Game number 1. And it looks like we're face-checking some brushes here as FAKER, he's going to net over the wall. Has to take a net at level 1.
Yeah, I haven't really seen the Smolder CAITLYN matchup very much in the mid lane, but I imagine that's not how you want to start it, having to go your net level 1. Fortunately, should have time to recall and get back to lane, but yeah, gonna be a bit less pressure on ZEKA, so HLE finding a good window just to force that level 1 skill up.
Bold statement, Ox. Coming out right from the get-go. Also, do note, ZEKA actually going for fleet, so we have been seeing mostly Grass, Smolder, even in ranged matchup. I do think that this is one of the matchups where if FAKER plays it well, you really shouldn't be able to get a whole lot of stacks.
Yeah.
So I do think the fleet in that regard makes sense, gives you the extra movement speed and allows you to sustain.
I would not put it past him to flash some walls and try to get in onto FAKER, as there's the magical journey. FAKER, does he know he's in trouble? He will flash away. And that's going to be Peanut trading flashes with mid lane CAITLYN. You'll take that.
Yeah, especially Peanut has Hex Flash, so, you know, as Atlas always like to say, he just unlocked the Hex Flash situation, upgraded.
Pressure we see on these grubs. For now, we do see owners going to the Drake, and Peanut has started them, so T1 are going to be giving up the grubs.
Do have Carrier on a roam here towards topside. See if they can get a lane gank as this crash comes through, but Delight and Peanut are both in the area. Do also know that obviously with the ultimate or of the portal, it's going to be really easy to come through, as we do have ZEKA harassing a little bit here.
Yeah, this is kind of risky because it feels like Carrier went top to cover Zeus, because obviously HLE are leaning top for the grubs, but now ZEKA
he's going in there. He's 1v3. He's like, no, I've got Mom. And he's just going to push them off. He buys enough time. And now HLE Esports rotate over. And they're going to get both as, yep, there's the smite. They take down the Drake. And HLE Esports enjoy both objectives.
So Nodlands would only be able to flash, but without an ultimate available, there's not all you can do is Peanut.
Yep, Hex flashing in. And actually just going to real flash on top of FAKER here. And that is going to be FAKER in a ton of trouble. Owner does make his way over, but that's first blood. Give it over to the Smolder in the mid lane. Meanwhile, on top, Doran going to force a flash. He does trade, but takes the win in this 1v1. I mean, just a level 5 Bard, I'm not really that threatening. Here is a dive on the top lane. Doran is going to get flashed on by Carrier, and a bunch of damage goes into this Jax as Zeus will take him down, and they do get revenge. Yeah, this is pretty interesting that T1 just really, they don't have much presence on these grubs. I mean, they're fighting to get one at this point in time, maybe two. With their CAITLYN Ziggs combo, and they should be able to get two unless HLE Esports have a big plan invested here.
Doran does have his TP available, so he can join, but it looks like HLE. Oh!
Peanut had smite, and he's going to take number 5, so that's 5
is.
grubs
TP
for the set of HLE Esports. Here's the TP, as you mentioned, getting right into that backline. The Ziggs, Scuba, he's all alone. Daddy will go, and that's a bonus kill as well for HLE Esports on top of everything else.
Is Ziggs, but doesn't have his ultimate right now.
Oh boy. I mean, there's no TPs. He's alone. There's 3 people here for HLE Esports. There's just no way for Guma to get out of this situation as Peanut and Delight set up yet another kill. And yes, T1 will get the dragon. But HLE Esports really snowballing their lead.
And that's the window of Carrier not being on the map. You see HLE get the people where they need to be, and Peanut on the Poppy again finding an opening.
And you know, HLE already have a dragon, so they're willing to give up the second one and focus on getting gold
Infernal Soul.
onto this Jhin. Infernal Soul, yeah, you know.
2 dragons actually.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, Mark.
Thank you for that. That's very
I mean, it is one of those
information.
things where if they'd lent towards Dragon, I could understand it, because, you know, if you see Chemtech Ocean, you're pretty confident it's going to be a very strong soul. And Infernal here, you know, there's a lot of champions. Jhin, Smolder, CAITLYN.
That's a first for mid CAITLYN, which I guess is a first in general.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk a lot about the CAITLYN mid-game sort of power trough, but particularly if you go on IE first, that is not going to feel super rewarding until, well, either you get lucky and get a crit, or until you got some more items to back it up.
It is the old build, right? Like way back in the day, the CAITLYN just, you know, just go IE, and then eventually you do matter. So maybe FAKER digging into those old memories. We'll see if it works out for him. He will be building more crit, of course, but yeah, I mean, HLE Esports, in terms of their map impacts, it feels like they're the team with the Ziggs, when obviously they don't have Ziggs, but they are just taking all the turrets. They're taking the entire map at this point in time. They get the first top one, they get this inner one immediately with double demolish, it looks like, coming in there, as well as the Rift Herald. Huge value with all the objectives they're getting.
Already a counterpunch for T1. They're gonna get a turret. I don't even think Zeus can really get a lot of damage down with the rest of HANWHA already on their way. As Powered Vehicle comes through, and there it is. Viper getting very close towards that rapid fire.
It's kind of an awkward spot where they're trying to set up a nice little box for them around this objective, but HLE Esports might just barge on through.
Yeah, they see FAKER in the bot lane, so they just run through all the traps and clear them out. And
here
now,
it is. Yeah.
Good old burning the flash from Guma. And they've started to push in and contest his control. There's still Banana Brush in favor of T1, but this line of traps is a lot less intimidating when it's on the other side of the Dragon Pit.
Delight able to find, not really a direct engage, but still getting a really big summoner out of the way right from the get-go. Ziggs, obviously outside of a satchel, can be by the mobile as Dragon started up here. HANWHA Live, they are looking to contest very aggressively. Look at the Narbar for Zeus is full. Mega now available.
Yeah, and the early pick of Poppy, as by the way, Solar Flare is down, and this engage under the light looks kind of pitiful. But that very early Poppy pick is going to be fantastic about just running straight at the objective and saying, okay, well, Sejuani can't do anything, Leona can't do anything. How are you going to engage? But now it's actually HANWHA Live Esports that engage onto the Leona themselves. Generally not a good idea, but they will force the flash of Keria. And now the Jhin ult is coming out, just trying to zone them away. T1 thinking about getting on in here, but Peanut just going to launch Owner into the sky, and that is going to be the Infernal Drake already in the hands of HANWHA Live. Flash on in from Peanut looking for more, but he's going to take a ton of damage. He goes Keria though. He is extremely low. And now we've got Doran on the flank. Zeus does not have Meganar, and ZEKA is just farming the stacks right now, as it's a very broken up fight. Nobody is going to die yet. But now Doran in a bit of trouble. He's got to flash away, and just barely is going to walk this one off.
Very scrappy fight with the way it ended up playing out. You know, some little mistakes here and there from both sides. They made some mistakes. They didn't get punished as much as they could. Speaking of punished,
this is very weird, the setup. Delight in a bit of trouble. He's just trying to walk this one off. He doesn't have flash. There is a magical journey, but now we got TP coming in. Zeus, he wants this, but he's just going to get stunned up against the wall. And the flash on in, the ace in the hole, Delight, he's got a shield. Here comes the rest of the team. His owner gonna throw an ult, and they finally take out Delight.
That's a lot invested though, just to kill the Bard. If they don't turn this into something else, I don't think that's necessarily worth, because Doran on the other end of the map getting a turret.
Feels like one of those plays where you keep committing because it would feel bad not to get the kill, but it's like at some point
should stop.
Should have just cut the losses. You lose a tower on the bot side, and the thing is, even though Doran has no
We'll see if T1 can use that as a pressure point. Here we go again.
Oh, Guma, he has flash. He's not going to use it this time. Finally will use it. There's Bomb from the sky as well, and now Peanut just running away from this one. Owner going to throw an ult, as a lot of these fights very much on a nice edge, but that is a Poppy as the satchel comes in. You can't kill the Poppy at this point in time, but they're going to force HANWHA Live Esports back, and HANWHA Live themselves not able to get too much out of the trade either. They do force Peanut to flash away. He's going to pull out the helicopter, just threaten it here to save this turret, and now he will go for a back.
Yeah, Dragon up in 50 seconds. You know, both teams would love if they got the opportunity to take the tower with the Ziggs. You get a low, it's so easy to. I do think
this one, and he just TP'd in the mid, so now he doesn't exist, and T1 have their sights on something here, maybe the Baron. Gonna throw it out, and he's gonna hit him! Doran doesn't even flash out of that when he leaps, but he dies mid-leap.
And there we go. T1, they're making the call for the Nash here. They don't care about Dragon. They want to try and take a decisive lead. Peanut's there though, with his ult available. They can't let him near the pit.
No, Jhin ult for Viper, and he's super low. This is so hard to contest.
The zone control.
I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything about this. I mean, it's a very early Baron, but yeah, HANWHA Live Esports say, okay, we just have to take mid tier 1, and that's about it. Maybe to get the Dragon, but T1 will get this Baron off the map. There it goes. And now they're going to be running towards the Dragon and looking to fight again.
Oh, I don't know if they'll be in time. This is going down quick.
They're going to ult. Careful away, but he comes back from the sky, and now he's trying to get something going here, as it is going to be the fight and the magical journey out. HANWHA Live Esports, they do get this one, and now they're going to turn as Keria is going in. He wants to open this fight, but Peanut is just providing the door, and Delight thinking about the disengage. Not sure if they want to continue on this one, but the Smolder is online. The executions are beginning as HANWHA Live Esports are running T1 away from this one. T1, you just got a Baron, but they overchase, and HANWHA Live Esports will punish them.
And T1, a big win turning into an immediate disaster as just so
angles for him to make impacts in these team fights, because there's so much lockdown, so much defensive peel, and then you're just going to get burned through by this Smolder. You see them setting up for this bot lane tier 2.
I mean, Zeus is trying his best. There's the lockdown, though, onto FAKER. He's in a lot of trouble, and now they're going to knock away Owner. There's no protection for the CAITLYN. Down will go FAKER here in the front line. Peanut thinking about continuing on this one. Here comes the flash, the slow onto Guma, who does have his flash, but still trying to continue on this one. Big solar flare, and now Meganar coming on in, but the Asterix is gone, and they're just going to give him up. Down will go Zeus, and that is another kill here. A shutdown to Smolder, and another engage comes in from Peanut. And how about another one? They're looking for Carrier as well, as he will be taken down. It is a very long lane fight, but it is 4 kills to HANWHA Esports.
And they could be looking towards the end. Faker's going to be up in 15, but I don't know if he alone is enough. Wave clear, 5 members still here for HANWHA. And it looks like a game number 1, everything going as expected.
Yeah, this is going to be rough. We'll see if HLE Esports actually do push for the end. It looks like they're kind of backing off of the inhibitor for now, so they'll just take the free inhibitor after that big fight and back away and take the entire jungle. They're not going to try to end just yet. It's still a bit early based off of how much they got, but...
Win fight for T1 because HANWHA, if they can get this soul, it's over.
Trying to take out Delight. He is going to be caught. They get him, and they use a lot of their CC to take him down, but that is going to give the advantage here to T1. 5 members to 4. Now, HLE Esports still have their carries. They still have a front line, and they're still very far ahead. So it looks like they want to just fight for this one. Doran just jumping on in. Doesn't even care. It's a 4v4 right now as the TP from Zeus is late, and the execution will come in. And look at the damage right now from the side of HLE. They take down 2, and Zeus can't even kill a measly Jin in the backline by himself. It's a totally broken up fight, and that will absolutely favor HLE Esports. As, you know, the last fight was very one-sided. This one, even more so. And it was eventually a 4v5 as Owner will go down, and it should be Infernal Soul or just the game win to the side of HLE Esports.
Not much you can do in this situation. Owner trying to survive as long as he can, but the rest of the team are heading over to try and end the game.
And this is going to do it. Yeah. It's going to be the end of game 1. I mean, it's 15-4. It is a very one-sided start to this one. And there's not much else you can say. Some interesting picks from T1, but at the end of the day, it's good old reliable Smolder and the Poppy as well from Peanut to get the job done as very dominant game 1 win here to the side of HLE Esports to start off this best of 5.
And this is a bit worrying for T1, you know, they come in the game.
I think from Blue's side, you have a little bit less of that, but still, I think it's been a really successful pick for the side of Doran.
Really was, and it's telling, because Zeus in the 1v1 actually was able to, you know, get those leads, but it just didn't matter enough, and I think that T1 are identifying that we need to put a player on HLE further down for us to have a shot. The 6th priority not going to come as a surprise. We'll see if they go back to the CAITLYN answer again. Did of course start with Nat last time around. That is obviously not ideal, but we'll have to see if Faker can bring out something else. If that is not the direction they're going to go in, as the Sejuani this time going to go over to Peanut. As yeah, it was banned last time. The Jax is already gone. But still, even with how good Zeus was, I feel like picking Camille this early in the draft, even if it cuts with Ziggs, is a really big risk.
Yeah, it means Sejuani also a really big denial because Sejuani Camille's so strong.
Yeah.
But I feel like T1 are now sort of leaving it into a composition where their goal will be to kill this Smolder. The Camille setup, the Ziggs to follow up, you have the resets on this Tristana. So anything that Viper ends up picking in this draft needs to bear in mind there's a lot of dive threat already, and that's before even locking in the support and jungle, who I assume is going to accentuate that more. HLE Esports, if they want to pick for Doran, now is kind of the time to get that in before we go to the next ban phase. It looks like that is what they're going to do. They were toying with the Rector, and they go for the Xanthi instead.
But instead, it's just Talia. So giving some thought into the Smolder that could potentially even go to the bottom side. This is the Rel. You know, another option. I think it's something that Delight has gone back into many a time, just to really bolster the engage and provide follow-up after Sejuani throws an ult.
Imagine Carrier, if this gets locked in, is going to go towards the Alistair. And then the question becomes, what do they want to go in the jungle? As mentioned, there is still the flex potential of the Smolder, hence the Talia ban, but Smolder, AD carry, I think we've seen like Aiming played it once, I think, a while back, and it just didn't really feel like it had the same impact. That's a no-brainer. What is Owner going to bring here? That is even more dive, but that champion has not been doing too hot in the LCK recently. Zyra is still open, but Zyra with a dive composition, it just doesn't feel that good.
It doesn't fit, and I think you're all in already. At this point of the draft, you know what your comp needs to do into HANWHA Esports. Throwing the idea of the Nidalee, so doesn't fit as well in with the dive, but obviously can establish a lot of pressure now. HLE, they're going to go for this in the bot lane. And they're going to try and pick a really strong mid-jungle 2v2 with the Yone Sejuani, and it being ZEKA's Yone as well. If they find an advantage in the mid bleeds in a jungle, maybe they can defang this Nidalee.
And there is exactly one team where you can see Nidalee Tristana and go, oh, they're winning the mid-jungle 2v2. That team is waiting in the finals. For any other team, that doesn't feel that strong. Ideally, even though in theory it makes sense, you get Prio, you play from there. Tristana's Prio have been substantially nerfed. FAKER has not looked great on Tristana mid, really throughout the entirety of the year.
Here we go, game number 2 already beginning, as so are the emotes and a bit of dancing from Delight.
Some bodyguarding there from Carrier, making sure FAKER doesn't have any issues in the early game. I do feel like, I mean, it's typical with the Nidalee, but this game might feel really snowbally, as Nidalee often does, but also the 2-carry composition for HLE. If ZEKA or Viper fall behind, this comp might really struggle to ever get in the air. I mean, Viper will always eventually be relevant on the Smolder, but ZEKA kind of needs to be the driving force, the damage in a lot of these mid-game setups. So really looking to see how he handles the lane. Obviously, it's kind of hard to lose lane on Yone currently with how you go Doran's Shield, Second Wind, Fleet Footwork, Absorb Life, and just kind of sustain through everything. But, you know, he is someone with a lot of experience on this pick, and we have high expectations for him.
Well, Viper, pretty good at this pick. A perfect KDA, as now we have an engage down on the bottom side here, thinking about getting in onto the Alistair, but nothing much is going to happen. Still the pressure from the side of Owner, and T1 is mounting.
Actually, a really big interrupt there from Carrier. If that crashdown goes through, might not have an angle as Owner.
Might fight, goes to Owner. He does have that burst. In goes Carrier, gets the flash away. And a bit of damage done to Owner, but he can heal that up on the Nidalee, so I feel like
getting as many grubs as possible when you're the team with Tristana and Ziggs, that's really a classic. And I think HANWHA Life also make the correct call not to try and contest this, given the experience disadvantage they're looking at, as the TP is going to come through here. That's Zeus.
And I think that's fine. You're not going to get Dove as a Camille. Smolder doesn't have the damage yet. But you sort of lean into territory of cross-mapping, and Ziggs always wins cross-maps, doing what they can on the other side. Now, they are trying to lean towards Zeus. If they bring 4 members, that's when it becomes diveable, and it's down to how Zeus uses those.
They have 3, and there's the stun already. Zeus finally going to get that ult off, and Delight does tank out the turret. That's another turret shot going into Viper, chunking him at half. As Zeus will survive against 3. Can he survive against 4? The other question, as the stun comes in, lines it up for ZEKA, and finally they're able to take out Zeus in the bottom lane. First blood to HANWHA Life Esports.
That's still a big investment though, and FAKER is going to be able to get a big shove going. We'll see. Diving at Cassante is always very, very tough. Can Doran defend here?
Yeah, he's pretty tanky, but there's the Unstoppable taken away, and Carrier thinking about going up in.
Down.
He's not level 6 himself just yet, but the stun comes in, and the Ziggs bomb, the all-out, goes in onto Guma, as he survives for quite a long period of time. Owner nearly dies, but it is a successful dive at the end of the day.
And the difference is, HLE had to bring their mid laner in to make the dive work.
Still looking to contest. Last time, ZEKA single-handedly stopped them. This time, T1 going to bring a couple more people into the fray.
Yeah, definitely a different look this time around. Carrier still level 5, kind of awkward for him. He wants to get that engage going. Delight level 6 himself, looking for the Magnet Storm angle. See if he can hit it. As some Ziggs poke does come in, but they will commit to this one. There's the big bomb onto the back line, but now they're trying to go forward. The spike comes in from Peanut. They get the Chemtech Drake. Drake is up next, and HANWHA Life Esports say, nope, we're done with this fight. We got the Drake, and we are out.
Wait, but I don't think he's going to be in time.
I mean, maybe his threat will be enough to push them off. They do back away. Meanwhile, Owner's getting more grubs on the map, so he should be able to get some.
And the thing is, whether or not they take the tower isn't the most relevant thing, because when you get it that low, it's a satchel away, right? An auto and a satchel from the Ziggs will take it, and now, for the rest of the game, HLE has to play super defense on the mid-tier 1, or it will just go down.
Do want to give credit to HLE for getting an early game Dragon, deflecting an attempted engage from T1, and also making sure that they're still getting these side lane plates, right? T1, yes, the grubs are big, but they're not really able to build a giant lead when it comes to the gold, as Guma ends up having the flash. ZEKA found him with the ultimate.
Zoning all of these, pushing him off the turret so
Trying
he
to
can
make
take
a
it.
point off.
But
No,
he knows
he's gonna
what
get
to
the
do.
turret.
He wants the turret.
He's
He
gonna
gets
get it. There you go. Nice
Give me
timing
the
on the
thumbs up.
satchel. And there it is, the first turret blood. Going over to Mo's doing his best to poke. He had a lot of damage in game 1, but now, as you mentioned, Chronicler, you can just kind of set up mines, satchels, ways to prevent entries, as it's Ocean Soul that is coming in here for game number 2. So, no Infernal, no X-Tech, and no Mountain. Those are the other options. ZEKA still trying to exert some pressure here on the map, but it will be the Dragon over to T1.
T1, it looked like.
It did feel like T1, you know, even from behind, they were kind of like going in, going out, going in. It wasn't the cleanest calls or communication, coordination, whatever you want to call it, from their side from behind. But from ahead, Home Life Esports, they haven't made any oversteps. You know, they're just sitting back, they have a smolder, and they say, well, we're behind. We don't really want to fight right now, so we'll just give you the Drake and just continue farming.
And that's the thing, it's always contextual. T1 ahead, it's about 2,000 after that tower went down, but how far ahead do you need to be when you're playing into the smolder? You have tools to deal with him, even when he gets ahead, but we've seen...
For T1, both Zeus and Faker are going to shred through Doran. Like, Doran is going to have a tough time actually maintaining any level of prio, as we do have Delight running into the Camille and not really enjoying his time, but there's a lot more resources on the way. TPs are available.
Yeah, they're trying to get something here on the top side of the map, but this is kind of half-hearted, as now the Ziggs bomb comes over the top. Zeus looking to take a Delight. He will not be able to. That's a kill, but look at bottom lane. This is really where most of the action is happening in terms of turrets going down. They're going to take the mid-inner, and then they'll back away, but utilizing that Rift Herald to a nice degree.
And this is the problem, you commit so heavily to the top side of the map, and now Ziggs Tristana looking mid. I don't think you dive an Alistair, but yeah, they'll just take the tower.
Meanwhile, TP's coming in. Viper doesn't exist anymore. He's not dead, but yeah, he needs to back. Meanwhile, this top turret will go down, so at least Home Life did get that, but T1 really trying to exert a lot of map pressure with this comp.
Could that end up being the difference maker, but going for the flash Q there as a area?
This is Alistair. I mean, it's going to take a long time to kill him. And can they actually do it? I don't really believe just yet, but now trying to bait the fight. Here comes Camille. That's a miss on the hook shot, trying to predict the pullback, and that's not going to work. As ZEKA eventually just pulls back himself. Now he's going to flash over the wall, and they get away scot-free. Even Blastcone helping them out.
Getting the kill isn't that big of a deal, but getting the kill and getting the TPs and getting away, you know, Carrier getting caught, obviously not ideal, but it's just so many misfires. Zeus completely whiffs the hook shot in this situation. Zeus caught out again.
Here we go again, and ZEKA's really beginning to take over the map with the help of some of his friends. The stun comes in, and that is the combo of Yone and Sejuani, and they are just abusing those side lanes right now. As Mob will come down, the Smolder wave clear, it works a little bit, but it will not stop Ziggs. They take out the inner, does T1. Now Home Life Esports threatening from top river.
Been disastrous for T1. They're still ahead, they're still getting structures, but they keep losing members on the other side, and it feels so unnecessary. You know, yes, Zeus, they're trading for you in these situations. They are getting the dragon, but it just feels like they're giving away so much that is unnecessary, and it really starts to make me feel concerned.
You're not getting Drakes that are that relevant. As you saw T1 when Zeus was getting dove or killed there by 3 people. Turret was already gone, obviously. Ocean Drake wasn't even the first thing of their mind. If that's a Hextech Drake, they're immediately making the snap call.
Hook shot to Sieta, and there's ZEKA over the wall, and now the Magnet Storm, but the hook shot buffered to try to get away, and an ult as well, as we got a little skirmish on the right side coming in. Faker trying to flash on in, but it will be disengaged. Zeus has to back away. Here comes Owner.
There's a wave. Zeus can flank with a TP once he recalls.
They're playing it slow.
They definitely are. Home Life Esports are backed up against the wall. We'll see if T1 can zone them and do some
There's TP.
No
effective
ZEKA
damage.
ult. No Delight ult.
Yeah, that's a lot gone. And Home Life Esports again, they have nowhere to go as Doran trying to throw himself in there, but now Delight's got a front line and he's not very tanky. Home Life Esports are just running the opposite way as he has to flash a spear. T1's still on the chase, but they're not quite fast enough. I mean, Home Life Esports are just running away from them really fast. And T1 are not going to find the engage.
And I think T1 honestly fumbled this. Delight won't even go down. Gets the shield for the dismount. T1, they had Zeus on a flank TP, and they all moved to his side, so he wasn't isolated. But as a result, down and got out, and now they're all looking towards the Baron, but they know full HP. He's there.
They know. TPs are available as well, although the light isn't there just yet. ZEKA doesn't have his ultimate. Maybe this is the window.
It's 27 minutes in. That's a bit of damage from Mom. But yeah, Peanut is in the pit. They have not found a way to zone him away. And now we have the TP coming on in. The all-out onto Keria, and Peanut will not be denied access as it is just a flip. It goes to Owner, but the health bars are so low on the side of T1. Owner is just running away. Faker's running away. Zeus is isolated. Keria can't quite walk his way out of this one. The Baron does go the way of T1, and actually it's only just the one kill on Zeus for now.
It's a heist! They got the Baron!
They did. It looks like Keria might eventually go down.
He will go down for sure. And this buys time for HLE. You know, if they chase down the Alistair or just stall him out, I guess they gave up because you can recall.
Wow, Doran might just die here. Okay.
The Koenig!
He is Cassante. He's Cassante.
Okay, but the recall from Keria taking the Dragon is going to slow down the Baron of T1, but they still have the buff. That's the main thing. And with the Tristana Ziggs, they really need to get mileage out of it. It's not enough just to get a couple of towers. The base needs to be broken. You need an inhib tower at least.
Really do, and the inhib, ideally that you're looking to get, might...
So at the end of the day, it is about 1,200 gold in the power play. And now they're looking for Owner. Oh, he is caught out, and there's nowhere for him to go. They get Keria as well in the Magnet Storm. As it's just kind of hanging out at the end of the Baron push, and that will be a double kill now for Viper.
Great pick found, you know, Nidalee has Owner changed, but now HLE might get this T1 tower, so the outcome of the Baron is just positive for HLE.
Want to highlight as well, not only does he not have the Baron, did Zeus, but he's also, again, behind on itemization onto ZEKA. ZEKA
target in onto the Smolder, and here comes Smolder. Viper just flapping over the wall, and there's that poke damage coming in. Locket gonna help against that, but now Peanut's in a bit of trouble. He's got to flash away. TP gonna be forced from both of them. ZEKA gonna hold on to his, though, and he will not be TPing into this fight. As I say that, he TPs into the fight. As now, trying to get on top of a Camille, that's not gonna work out. ZEKA not gonna hit, and he engaged, but actually Doran is gonna hold out Guma, but Keria is gonna get the peel on that backline. Doran in a bit of trouble, but so is Keria. Who will go down first? The answer is the cow, as Keria does go down. ZEKA going forward, Zeus desperately trying to find the angle. Very low health bars, as in goes Zeus, but there's no follow-up as some bombs are thrown in, but ZEKA, finally, the rebound for Faker. He's gonna get in, he's gonna get out, and it's just gonna be Doran super low on HP once again, eats a spear, and Zeus looking for more as the Mega Bomb comes in. They're gonna take down the Rel, and HLE Esports are left just running away from the fight.
These fights are insane! T1, they're gonna keep going! Can they go for the push? Soul is on the table, but without ZEKA there, I think Viper's still alive. You can't go for it. Looks like they're just gonna go for the Dragon, but that felt like either team could have taken it.
T1 navigating on the knife's edge. Members going in bit by bit, finding the windows. It looked super close, but they're able to find the advantage just when it felt like the Smolder was becoming unstoppable. They find a window, but now TP coming in. They will be challenged. Faker, I'm not sure you can stay in the pit against Viper.
I mean, at the end of the day, Faker doesn't die, and it's just one Ocean Soul. T1 are taking the Baron right now. I mean, they don't really care about this Ocean. Yeah, they denied the Ocean Soul, but T1 getting the Baron at this point in the game, and they have a lead. I think we might begin to see some of those fights.
Kills. Like, there's not been a lot of bloodshed on their end.
Well, they got some extra plates, and they've gotten some other objectives as Doran is extremely tanky, but Owner's in a lot of trouble. He will zone his in. Mom doesn't do much, but Owner's still going to be caught by the Yone. Viper in a kind of an awkward spot, but he's able to flap away, and he gets some peeling, and now Zeus is really just in a rough spot here as well. ZEKA does have his GA, but down goes Zeus. And HLE Esports, they find the fight. They're looking for more. Trying to find Guma, trying to find Faker and Keria. The two carries here on the side of T1. They go in onto Keria. Look at the damage from Faker. It is huge. As there's a couple of kills already for the Tristana. Faker just standing and firing and taking everyone out. He gets a triple. It's the kill of the Seeds. But it is a massive fight to the side of T1 as they overstep and Faker picks up a Quadra.
Faker, the player who has struggled throughout this season, comes up huge. The movement's perfect. He gets the damage off and he turns round the fight. They're going to look for the end.
Owner's just bait, baby! They don't need the Nidalee, ends up going down. But as we can see, as much damage as ZEKA and Viper can do, that doesn't matter if you can't get on top of this 6. and can't get on top of this Tristana.
And it's over. There's nothing they can do. The Nexus, you see that Delight is just desperation. But this late in the game, you give up a fight like that, T1 will run away with the game. And we've got a series on our hands already, 1-1. But once again, Smolder and Ziggs both left up.
It's probably just going to be Smolder, Ziggs, Sejuani again. Well, we'll just see if T1 change. I mean, presumably they take the Ziggs again. I don't see that changing. But I don't really see a reason why they wouldn't go to Sejuani, but maybe they're concerned about playing that into Peanut just slamming Poppy again. Nope, they'll just lock that in. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
We are just running it back. Game number 1 definitely felt a lot more HANWHA favored. Even there was a lot of back and forth, as in the last game. And yeah, why not?
It's important to note, they actually did the same order of bans as well. So this could just be a replay, for all we know. You know, they're just matching the picks and bans exactly. But this is a change. Looking at a potential core, but you know the sort of type of champion is going to be on. You don't have to deal with the threat of the Bard, which was a problem for Guma on the Ziggs getting picked out. Now, presumably they want to give counter pick to Zeus, so I guess Carrier just takes the Alistar and presumes that Delight will take the Rel into it because he's so confident on the pick. Maybe we could see Delight going for the Rakan as well, but there's so much AoE on T1 that I think that might be a bit risky.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what HANWHA Life Esports will round out this draft with, and we'll see if we get a bit more of a spicy counter pick for Zeus in the top lane. I'm not really hoping for, you know, Jax Snar. The Jax obviously taken away this time. Rakan being looked at here for Delight. So Jin, Rakan, nope. Just going to go back to, no. Thinking about it. Rakan or Rel, what's it going to be, Delight?
I think Rakan has an easier time in this situation. A lot of things that can interrupt between the Sejuani, the Satchel, and the Alistar. The concern is you are squishy, but with the Warmog's rush that we've seen a lot of times for Rakan, you are a bit bulkier, but there's a lot of AoE. If you fall behind, you can just get one shot when you're trying to go in.
Seemed to be an issue before. The light on Rakan goes back all the way to the Brionne days, where he was a large part of why their team fighting was as good as it was, as the cannon being looked at here. I like the Renekton a lot more. I know that Renekton is not
a Vayne though. You know, we've seen this before.
It could happen, but I feel like the reason why we saw Nessus originally is because if you pick it into cannon, cannon just doesn't get to do a lot. We've also seen the Vladimir, which hasn't been very successful with. What if we?
It's just Zeri. It's Zeri top, right? Because Zeus has done this before. He did this at EWC as well.
Yeah? What?
He was like, yeah, no, this is just good. And it could be Corki top, as you mentioned. But yeah, I mean, this seems like HANWHA Life Esports should have known that this is coming, especially into T1.
Yeah, I think the Corki top makes sense. He's got a bit more early trading power to keep the Renekton at bay. You know, we've seen Zeri and a Smolder a lot of times. This feels similar in ways, not the same as the comp we saw from T1 against KT when it was Sejuani plus a bunch of range champs. They do swap back, so Zeri in the top lane, wanting, I guess, a bit more mid-pressure.
A lot of scaling in this game number 3. Let's hop into the Rift and find out what happens.
하나 생명! 하나, 둘, 셋!
T1! 하나, 둘, 셋!
Fans are out here in force at the Gangju Indoor Stadium, and it has been, I feel like it's already delivered a bit more than I expected, and I'm going to be happy to see just how far this is going to go. They're going to give that ward over to Doran. Might make that early laning phase a little bit easier.
Yeah, I think we often see like the kind of rock, paper, scissors situation top where, you know, supports will go top, place a ward down. Sometimes you'll see teams baiting to try and deny that. Here, Delight goes up with a sweeper, so he'll clear out the ward. Especially playing like a Renekton into a Zeri, vision control of that middle brush is really important in making the matchup slightly less painful.
I also really like the PTA here. We're going to get the most value out of that, right? Try and go for those short trades, longer trades against Fuse as well. We'll see if Owner actually is allowed to take his buff. Does have smite advantage, but he just can't walk up. We'll see. Doesn't have a ward, so can't get vision into the brush easily.
Yeah, he's just gonna get flashed on. He plays with fire, and now he's not able to get over the wall, as it is Poppy after all. That's first blood given over to Peanut already.
Really nice.
Still level 3. Delight is up a level, and Viper just pushed in the bottom wave. So they're denying the Drake while also, and now we got a 1v1 on the top side. Doran trying to lock down a Zeri. Not an easy task, but he knows that, you know, the enemy jungler's bot, and he's got Peanut up top.
Viper's got Prio in the bot lane, Guma also low on mana, and that's going to secure the first dragon for HLE, so Grubs and Dragon, really solid for them.
Snowball coming out here early here for HANWHA Life. I do think that this game is fundamentally different from what we had before, because yes, as you mentioned, even with the Smolder, there is so much raw firepower on the side of T1 with a very reliable front line as well. So shouldn't be the end of the world, but still going behind in Dragons early on doesn't end up making a really big difference in this series as the Cloud Drake comes through and Ocean next.
It feels like we've just constantly had the first couple of Dragons have been like the weaker souls. Wasn't able to finish off Faker. I think the rest of the team were like, well, he's dead. Viper's there. And ran out of ammo.
Yeah, TP coming in, and now this is about to get really scrappy. The ult goes in onto the light, but now the charm coming in. They turn immediately onto Zeus, who is so low, but he gets over the wall. And now Owner in a bit of trouble, but we got the flank coming in from Faker. And Guma and Carrier looking for a bit more. A lot of low health bars, but Zeus finally goes down to the queue of the Smolder, and Carrier just trying to give up his life, just trying to frontline for the team, but ZEKA's just able to run forward. They deny the pummel. He is not able to get anything. It's another kill to the Smolder, and T1 are just on the run. They can't quite get away. Nearly able to take out Viper, but it's just a third kill over to ZEKA's Smolder.
There's beautiful execution there from T1, immediately punishing Zeus as soon as the fight starts, and then from then on out, it felt like HLE had this structured move where they just immediately collapsed down onto Zeus, who dashed away. After taking him out, they then moved towards the rest of the team. 1 HP, it went to there, and he shows the emote. Push back in as a unit, and they're like, ZEKA, you have the most HP, you go first.
We got Zeus in a lot of trouble here. He's been denied by Peanut so many times, and you know, these times I'm like, oh, he's in a lot of trouble. Let me just keep getting away. As Zeus will be rooted down, but now we got the engage coming in from Carrier. As in goes the light, just trying to save Peanut, who is so low. And even the Poppy will be taken out eventually. T1 able to get that, but here comes big boy ZEKA looking for a little bit more. He is so fed in this game already. And you just outrange it. Here comes Peanut. He's going in, and he's got a big crocodile right behind him. Owner and Faker just trying to split up, but they are pretty deep into this turret. They're going to keep Owner around it, and I think, yeah, Mom's got some scolding to do. Zeal will come in, but Owner not able to do quite too much. As finally the last Q comes in, and ZEKA will pick up a 4th kill.
Not able to get anything there. ZEKA getting further and further ahead.
First
turret's going to go down as well. The gold lead now starting to become an even bigger deal. About 3k here for HANWHA. There is an answer for T1 on the flip side of the map again. When it comes to scaling, I think they have a lot of power, but Owner, unfortunately, did end up saving his teammate, but does have to pay the price himself.
And honestly, credit to Doran for really, after a laning phase, it looked very unenjoyable. Just finding the impact in these skirmishes on the Nectar to keep himself in the game, keep himself relevant. Actually finishes first item before Zeus does.
Oh, Soul again.
Yeah, that's a big one. Especially with Smolder, Jin, and HLE already having 2 dragons in the back of the light. Didn't really achieve much, but he's sending a message.
Yes. Speaking about sending a message, they look to send one here on a Viper. And eventually does go down.
And it feels like in this game, it kind of came as a bleed out from that misplay bot where Carrier got chunked into the invade, into Owner going down, and just snowballed from there. Now, setting up the Herald, you won't want to contest though.
They kind of want to contest. Faker's CPing in onto this one, and Doran, he's going to be Mercy Blast away, but now the fight comes out, and the Zeri from the top side will be pushed all the way into the jungle, actually. Zeus not able to join the fight, but now Carrier, bit of an awkward spot. He is still an Alistair with Flash and ult. See how long this journey goes. Looks like he's just going to accept his fate. And HANWHA Life Esports will also accept a kill with that one, and that will be another one that goes over to ZEKA, making him 5-0.
They also got the Herald, so free kill. You're going to give up one bot side outer, but that's obviously not going to be the end of the world. Even more gold going over to ZEKA, who just gets spoon-fed these kills. And that's, again, I think Peanut being the difference maker. That fight looked a bit rough. Carrier actually splitting it up nicely. If Zeus is
they do get Doran low, but he doesn't go down, and it feels like a lot was burned for not much value. Carrier was on this flank, but didn't get to make use of it. And now with the Herald, they take mid-tier 1 and just further open up the map.
Yep. Peanut just gonna throw out an ult.
Oh, it can't fill. They need to get it.
Uh-oh, Faker, yeah, he's gonna be slowed up, and now you've got the whole team body block.
Oh!
They knock it away! They snipe the Corky! Insane play from HANWHA and from Peanut to set it up, and that should be the drink going into their hands as well.
That should be soul point. Peanut just sets it up. That second shot crucially hitting ends up being the main difference maker. Faker doesn't have flash. Is it a desperation Baron?
There's no way.
There's no way that we do that.
I think they're going to threaten, they're going to establish vision, but there's no way they do. But that was so slick from HLE. The pressure was there already. It was,
and they don't even know about
Are
Carrier.
they gonna TP?
Might get a little bonus Carrier here. That's a lot of damage, and yeah, Carrier does go in, but Faker, they finally deal with him. Down he goes, and Carrier is, in fact, the bonus Carrier that I did mention. So down he'll go, and now we have very awkward Guma, who TP'd into this fight. He is free as well. You talked about desperation. That one definitely looked desperate. HLE Esports will clean it up easily.
Complete decimation. Zeus's TP gets cancelled as well by Doran. So the secret of Carrier doesn't really end up helping them. The Zeri won 2 item spikes, can't join them. And HANWHA Life is going to take this Baron, and there's nothing that anyone on T1 can do about it.
I mean,
so
just really
strong.
well played from HLE.
Yeah, I'm also looking at it. Maybe Zeus should have been happy. Like, I think by the time he arrived, I don't know if...
Uh-oh, another play here. Guma's in a lot of trouble. Can they take him down is the question. The grenade goes flying, but he will live with that flash. And now an opportunity for T1 to turn this one around, but this is so tanky. He's got the Warmog's finish, and now he goes back in, and he's frontlining. There's the Nagamana Faker. Down he'll go. Doran diving the turret. ZEKA is a massive dragon at this point, and they will just dive on in and decimate the rest of T1. Carrier goes down. It's a triple for the Smolder. And that might just be it. I mean, HLE Esports fight another massive fight.
Should just be game end here. HLE with the most crushing victory we've had this series. Once again winning on blue side. Guma going to try what he can, but there's no way he defends against 5 here.
Yeah, he's trying desperately to clear the way, but there's not much that he can do. Down he goes, he trades for Delight, but he will not trade Nexuses. HLE Esports will take down game number 3 and retake the lead in this series 2-1.
And you can see blue side.
Yeah, the band's unsurprisingly not changed up. And if T1 are following their draft priority up until this point, it's going to be Ziggs, and it's going to be Smolder on the opposing end.
Whoa, you think they're going to pick Smolder? You think they're going to play Smolder again after these 3 games? Because ZEKA's been popular. Oh, they're even going to give
A swap.
Viper Jhin. That is a change. Last time they picked the Sedge, but Viper's been having such a great series on this pick, and they're confident with this. This is going to be somewhat reminiscent of that game 2 with the Nidalee Tristana coming in again.
So we already ran it kind of back, and then we're just doing that again. We're just...
It's a different order.
Yeah, different order, and obviously I do expect there to be changes towards the second half of the draft, but so far, a lot of similarities again. And on blue side, I think with a Sejuani and the Cassante being banned away, doesn't make me very excited, right? I would have much rather seen something on the counterpick territory. You can even go for the Cassante yourself. T1 obviously likes to play a lot more aggressive. We've seen what they've done in the series thus far. The Camille, the Zeri in last game. Leona, I think, is the no-brainer here, but they are going to maybe save the counterpick for Delight, as there's a lot of flex that can happen with
The
this.
flex top support pick.
Yeah, we don't really know where it's going.
Yeah,
Like, it
not
could
fully
be
giving away information here. We've seen the Poppy support come out.
It's
used
probably
a lot of
support.
value.
most likely.
Yeah.
But also, like, it could be a situation where you're expecting Leona to come out the other side. You have the W to block the Leona. You have the ult to disengage, and they'll go for the Corky top. I don't like this, because now your only setup is this Leona, and there's a Poppy and a Sejuani to run interrupt. It's going to be counterpick into this, and the setup just isn't there. So T1 are kind of hoping that HLE Esports just stand there and let them poke them.
It's consistent with the T1 game plan, which is try to win lane and then win.
Nasus.
But the Nasus shouldn't really come as a surprise. And I again
He's
want to
back.
reiterate, the one game that T1 won was off of the back of an absolute hero play. That game could have very well gone to HANWHA. So T1 gonna try it here again, but
You gotta imagine Humble Life, look at this. They have Poppy into a bunch of champions with dashes. They have a limited amount of frontline. Nessus is gonna be very hard to get through in the mid game. And they're still Smolder Jin.
Yeah, I think it's rough. I think honestly, if T1 don't get early momentum in this game, it's gonna be
Number 4.
T1 하나 둘 셋.
하나 생명. 하나 둘 셋.
Game number 4 begins with Owner poking Peanut out. And this is what you want to do if you're going to pick the Nidalee blind, expecting Sejuani. You need to put on some pressure and you need to be useful.
Yeah, bit of trading happening. T1 really trying to apply the pressure early on. And I think they've, you know, it's so far been 6 games in playoffs of Peanut really running rampage over Owner. And especially when you have Nidalee and the Sejuani again, I think Owner really wants to apply as much pressure as possible. But they only really got vision down here, and that ward is going to be swept out by Delight. So denying a bit of information there. But they do have a ward on the blue buff, so they should have an idea of where Peanut in for a good reason. But Smolder just still has a strong laning phase and is a monster late game.
Yeah, especially when you're going Grasp and you're also getting Grasp stacks. And meanwhile, Delight's here, he just flashes in, it's a free kill on a Faker, and now he's able to deny the entry from Owner. First Blood will go over to Delight, which is the only good thing for T1, but Humble Life Esports are eating good here in this early game.
And I'm pretty sure that they knew this as well. It felt like they were trying to set up a bait with Owner getting the heal off, but that was never going to be enough. Right, the Ignite comes through, the heal.
Very active on the map, and we've seen a lot of this Jin Ziggs this series, and it feels like it just gives like so much freedom.
On the roots! Gonna be rooted down, he's at least able to hop away, but I'm not sure he's getting away from this one. It looks like Humble Life Esports do not want to overchase. And that really sets up this entire early game for Humble Life Esports. We haven't looked too much at the top lane. Looks like Zeus is doing pretty well early on into the Nasus, which, I mean, it's Corki into melee, and the Wither can only do so much early on. He's just farming away his Doran. So that top lane not really having a big effect just yet, but maybe Zeus can get something going on the top side for T1, because that's really the one lane where things are going well for them. The bottom side is pretty even at this point, although I would say that Viper's had a bigger effect on the map and push the top lane with it.
And you know, they are now looking for something. Might find Carrier here.
Delight is always there, and he's in bot this time around. Carrier, he's got the Eclipse, but I don't know if he's got legs to stand on anymore. Down he'll go, and just a lack of vision, and now they leave Kuma alone in the bottom side. Humble Life Esports. Delight really trying to make so now maybe an angle for T1 to go for these scrubs.
Actually, it's not looking that bad here. Peanut holds onto the ultimate. I think could have used it, but maybe wasn't sure whether they had the damage. That's no Viper ult, so that should be 6 scrubs for T1, which is a very, very necessary dub in their column.
4 scrubs?
Is still there. Just 4 is already
5?
decent. I think 5 you can just take and peace out, which it looks like that's what they're doing, because they obviously don't have Zeus really in this equation, so they don't want to overstep.
And he's top. Now the TP was used by Zeus, so he can't really get to this fight either. ZEKA just walks that one off.
Yeah, Carrier trying to find an angle to ZEKA, but I think it's big that T1 try and contest this Dragon, because if you give 2 over to HLE and a strong Soul, you're a mistake away from being in a really uncomfortable position given over Soul points. So Owner is trying to set up on this now. HLE hovering around.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have Viper yet, so it doesn't really feel like they can fight. The top laner champions don't have their teleports at the moment, so T1 just trying to get this one down and in their column. Faker's going to take the aggro, which actually resets the Dragon a little bit. And T1 feeling the pressure now. Viper, here comes the helicopter trying to get somebody out of this one. It will be Carrier that is sent flying. And they say thank you for the leash. They'll take the Dragon. And it's Mountain Soul up next. Humble Life Esports basically run away with the free objective.
And Mountain Soul as well, especially when you have poke champions, Bears champions like Corki, Nidalee, and the Ziggs. And you have these mega tanks on the side of HLE, they get Mountain Soul, the game's cooked.
Sitting at like, what, 150, 200 stacks?
All right, trying to get on top of the Poppy. That's pretty brave, but they have enough damage with the Nidalee just to follow up. But Delight is holding, waiting. He's still got his flash, and he really wants to use it. He is, and then he just dies anyway. I really liked how he was holding it and not using it, and then he
Probably
used
should
it.
have kept holding
And
it.
then I really didn't like that part. Okay, nice dodge from Zayas, but he doesn't have his flash, and yeah, he's pretty dead. 1 Q will get the job done, so HANWHA Esports at least are able to trade it back.
Okay, Delay, we got to give you some flack for that one, because that was
questionable.
that was definitely questionable. There was a counterplay on the opposite end of the map for HANWHA, but FAKER getting a kill is definitely huge. This Tristana was the big win condition that they relied upon in the previous game.
And the turrets.
And with 5 grubs, this is going to go down very quick. Should be able to get first turbot as well. Yes, Nessus pushes fast, but not as fast as a Tristana with 5. Whew.
I think the problem is, though, is that HLE trade towers, but also get Herald. So now T1 might feel like they need to get more in this situation, but the light is here. Protect ZEKA. ZEKA has tons of wave clear, so all in all, I think HLE happy with that trade, with how it pans out.
You're just never getting out. Your first call needs to be the right one. 260 stacks now for Doran, so inside is going to be a menace. There's that Herald you were talking about, Ox.
Yeah, won't be able to get the tower, but just put some pressure down. I'm not sure about this. I feel like mid would have been better, but maybe they just thought they wouldn't find a window there. Now they are looking for Doran.
Yeah, he's kind of getting baited into this one, and FAKER just gonna hop away. Doran now flashes into the T1 jungle. Zeke's even trying to get on in there. Doran 1 Q away and nearly takes off Zeus' head as Yaki will go down to the explosive shot, but that got a little bit spicy.
But you know, Zeus was just top lane, you know, where the Herald went. So he TPs for the kill, but they give up the tier 2 and give the gold to Smolder. So, and also it's over a minute till Dragon. Doran's gonna be alive. Particularly the jungler away.
Gonna have to land a lot of poke. T1, this is a must get for them. If HANWHA gets Soul Point of a Mountain Soul into this poke composition, they're gonna be in deep trouble.
Well, both the teams are going to fight for it. Doran's taking the long way around. He doesn't have his flash anymore, but here comes the Delight. Oh, it's not going to hit anything as it's like he was going to be pushed away from that one. So the Drake does go over to their side. There's the clear from the Ziggs, and all of a sudden, T1 get the Drake. They don't lose a turret, and nothing else much happens. Feels pretty good for T1.
Yeah, really well played. Good poke landed. They had the setup first. They didn't get hit by the Poppy ult. You know, Guma was ready with the interrupt, but was out of range. And
Is
then
that
the
a
ult to defend.
satchable tower?
Oh, it might just be.
Yeah, we're going to see another ult
Oh.
try to clear the way, but yeah, that is a satchable tower. Down it goes! And Guma is able to take it down.
They get it. They understand. But yeah, I just think this is why Ziggs is so good in these cross maps, because he's so good at taking
They're
towers.
beginning to believe.
We're watching them learn things in real time, guys!
They're doing it! But yeah, so they deny the push on the bot side, slow it down. I don't think they're going to be able to pressure more on the top side, but they're doing a good job of just pushing the pace of the game.
Now, there is a Smolder still in this game. ZEKA, this time around, hasn't really been the main character the way that he was in some. Like, HANWHA Life is really going to care. They want to secure this Dragon. ZEKA is off on his own, but I don't think T1 knows about it. Now they will.
I mean, they're going to spot him coming on in. ZEKA, just kind of an awkward spot. He will be able to call down Mom from here, but he's not really in the fight for what it's worth. He's looking to maybe engage with the blast cone as Corki, as now it's just flanking Corki, and there goes the Leona. Mom comes down, they're just trying to zone them away, burst down the Dragon, and that they will. They take down the mountain, and now they're so close to this one. ZEKA has to flash out of here. They want to take the fight afterwards, but the zoning that is coming in is pretty big, but there's the Leona into it, but the light is right on top of him. Peanut also gets away, but Viper's still in a lot of trouble, will be taken down, and T1, they're getting resets. They're looking for more. Looks like they'll only get the one kill, and the Dragon is taken by HANWHA Esports. Want to pressure this Baron. TP called in, and they say, FAKER, get over here. We're doing the Baron. 5 members of T1 have already started up this objective. They're looking for the turn onto Peanut, who is incredibly tanky, and carrying out over the wall, taking damage from the Smolder. This follow-up is not there, and it's just a free Leona, and the call is not clean on the turn from T1, and they just lose their support.
I'm just not sure what the game plan there was, because you don't have the damage to burst Peanut. The follow-up wasn't in position. He has Locket as well. He is very tanky.
When against the Poppy in particular, it's not going to work as a...
1v1 holding it up from the Ziggs, and it's just a trade. Guma trying to help out, trying to get over there on time, but it's actually a shutdown that's given over to ZEKA.
But look,
That's so difficult for them. There's the TP, and it's just 4v5. What do you do except run away as Keria Owner thinking about getting in there, but it's not going to happen. He throws the spear, runs away. That's Mountain Soul given over to HANWHA Life Esports 29 minutes into the game.
And once again, T1 try and make a proactive play. Looks like a decent idea, but the backfire hurts them so much. The light going aggressive.
Oh, okay.
No.
It's about sending a message.
I was concerned for both of them.
He's tanky now, right? Mountain Soul, and the thing is, if that means an extra Nidalee Q, an extra Ziggs Q, just to burst through the shield is so hard, they're starting the Baron.
Oh, a lot of ults are down here for HANWHA Life. I don't know if that's enough, but T1 is going to try.
They're going to send it. We'll see if it works out for them. Peanut is in the pit. The Solar Flare doesn't hit anything, and it goes to Peanut. The steal comes in, and T1 might just get wiped here. They've got Doran in the front line for HANWHA. He's going to flash the wall. Down will go FAKER in the execution. And even potential for the Penta. It's not going to happen, but HANWHA Life Esports with this team fight win take a massive lead in this game.
And T1, it felt like they were in a desperate position after losing the Soul. The HLE don't hesitate at all. They move forwards and crush their hopes of the Mountain Soul. They can start to do some real damage to structures. I don't think it's a game ender, but with Baron as well, there's not going to be much left of the base after they have their way with it.
Nexus might not go down, but maybe we can call it a game ender nonetheless. The gold now gonna spike. The map control that T1 so desperately needed going to be denied. And FAKER's gonna be up, Kuma's gonna be up, but I don't know how much of the base they can keep standing. And outside of an absolutely looted...
And again, guys, this is for Worlds. World Seed would go over to HANWHA if they win it here, and now they've caught another one as down will go Owner. And they're looking to maybe end this one. We've seen some Red Bull Baron power plays in this one, but no 7,000 gold Red Bull Baron power plays until now.
And HANWHA Life, full control of the map. Doran pushing in a side lane. No one that can answer him. Owner ends up going down. And ZEKA just gets to press his Qs with the rapid fire. And barring a miracle, it looks like HANWHA Life, the heavy favorites coming in today, actually going to deliver on that, going to go up against Gen G tomorrow and punch their ticket to Worlds.
T1 just trying to clear the waves for the time being. The wave clear's there, but it's a struggle against the Baron. 2 inhibitor towers already down, and this can just play around the rapid fire to pressure this one. Look at the damage!
Oh god, and they're gonna throw this on top of ZEKA, but it's actually FAKER who's in danger of going down, and now the turret will fall. It's actually an 8,200 Baron power play by the end of it all. And HANWHA Life Esports are knocking on the door of their seed to the finals, to Worlds. And I don't think T1 have legs to stand on anymore. We've got a 7,000 gold lead for HANWHA. HANWHA Life in control of this game. Will they end it here is really the only last question. They're going to take every inhibitor that they can and everything that they can away from T1.
I think T1 just have to try and force something. If they lose triple N here with Elder in 2 minutes, the game's over. But the opportunity's just not there.
And they just don't really have an angle as Peanut taking a bit of damage here, but the light just holds up the helicopter. Karya blocks a lot, but you've already lost your inhibitor. That's a bit of damage, but at the end of the day, it's Mountain Soul.
It's just a bit. Locket is there. The rest of HANWHA Life just walks it off. No one is...
So they're actually... I don't think they're going to make it in time. We'll see.
HANWHA can just
they
peel
have
off.
TP as well, but yeah, it's just the turn from HANWHA, and a bit of damage comes in, but the stopwatch, oh, the 6 damage is massive, actually, in that push, but do they have enough to take out HANWHA? Peanut has to flash away, but Viper flashes in, he's getting so low, but Zeus takes him down. Owner and Zeus, the last hope of T1, but they will not take out ZEKA. That will do it. HANWHA Life Esports take the 3-1 victory tonight.
And we will be denied the repeat T1 Gen G finals. HLE gonna break up this streak. They're gonna go to finals. They're gonna go to Worlds. HLE coming strong with a 3-1 victory over T1.